Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. Welcome to August. And you know what they say, the month of August is traditionally very hot. When it's hot, you gotta keep you cool. John, how many Q posts we got? I know, it's a little difficult to explain. So let me see what I can do here. But before we do, we got to flash back, but not real far. We'll just do a really quick flashback.
Got a flashback inside you, take you back, yeah.
Taking you back, not really far at all. I guess just yesterday or maybe the day before, depending on where you live, I guess. Anyway, posts 35, 49, 50, and 51 now are inserted. Now, from what I can understand, Q has deleted these off of either the research board and the Patriotsfight board. They're no longer there, but they may have showed up. And that's why, because these showed up later, they were probably manually inserted by the people who operate these separate boards after grabbing them off of 8chan. So that's what I'm guessing happened. I'm not really 100% sure, but we've got some new ones, and I just want to show them to you really quick. We'll talk about them in a second. But we have 3549. They're all stringers here. 13 minutes after the hour 1, this package D-G, root, and then RELB, whether it's a relay or who knows, 29182_Y. And then we have what looks to be some sort of clock countdown, +4, +3, +2. Now, real quick on this one, the first thing I found online was this right here. Information Technology Sensor Network Reference Architecture, Part 5, Interface Definitions. You can see that's ISO IEC 29182. So this is what popped up. Provides definitions and requirements of sensor network interfaces of the entities in the sensor network reference architecture and covers the following aspects: interfaces between functional layers to provide service access for the modules in the upper layer to exchange messages with modules in the lower layer, interfaces between entities introduced in the sensor network reference architecture, enabling sensor network services and applications. So I'm not really sure if that's what that is. Is that some sort of computer command? All of these do look like computer commands. And then we see kind of a familiar one here, and we'll talk about a little bit more about this one in a minute. 19 minutes after the hour, 1:35:50. We have _hot8, hot9, and _red, _Y, And then we have _freedom, _mark 1 through 99, _Y, PC, _SIG-D. And I'm assuming that it would be maybe confirm network or conference network, W1. Not really sure, but again, it looks like some commands. But let me just move on to this one real quick. 3551, 26 minutes after the hour 1. We get what looks to be a missing, or maybe some elements missing to this stringer, or maybe it's purposely set this way. We see that D-G, 3 and 1 to 2, could be 1 to 2 hours, not really sure. Insert key. Not really sure. You computer guys can tell me what you think. But this obviously looks like some set of computer commands. Now, let me take you back to 3550 really quick, where we've seen a very familiar post like this before. Now, hang with me here, because I'm not so sure I have this all right. I just want to show you what I'm seeing. I want to refer you to this post here, 522 from January 14th, 2018. And I don't want to break down all these codes because I don't really know what all these are. They look like some sort of, this obviously looks like some sort of authorization code. And but we see these familiar HOTS. Now, I tend to think that we might be talking about satellites, and I've mentioned this before in regards to these, I don't know what you want to call them, pound signs, hashtag, number signals or whatever, but with the fly, and sometimes it'll have somebody's name in it. Could that be something to do with communications done in a skiff or communications that are picked up over satellite? Not really sure. In this case, I kind of thought that these were satellite comms, and each hot might be a separate satellite, and it might be talking about their status because they all kind of have different commands after them. Most of them have this pre_D. Now, I could be way wrong. It could be computer, some sort of computer code to enact satellites or enact comms. I don't really know. But down here at the bottom, it says, as the world turns, and that's what I wanted to turn you on to, because that's a catchphrase that we've seen quite a few times, and I want to flash a few different Q posts that have this saying in it. They seem to come around times we've suspected that there have been attempts on the POTUS's life. Now, the reason I think that is because if you will remember back in the day, the assassination of JFK, it was actually announced during a showing of the As the World Turns, which is an old soap opera on TV. And it was preempted with the announcement of his assassination. And so that's what led me to think this a long time ago. I still tend to think that this could be a possibility, and they may be kind of just letting us know that this was an attack thwarted. It could be in regards to these communications. Like I said, these were taken off by Q. It was Q's choice to remove those before these even came up in the first place. So I'm not really sure. And then it follows up here with Jeremiah 29:11, which I believe is for as I who know the plans for you. Sorry, I don't really have the exact quote there, but you get the idea, right? So this is my guess. Now, also keep in mind that As the World Turns, like I just said, was a very famous soap opera from way back in the day, and it's still running now. But one of the writers for that was one Agnes Nixon, and we talked about her a while back too. Agnes Nixon, longtime writer, and of course her daughter had been hanging with all these Rothschilds, and definitely had some creepy connections herself. James Alefantis was in her crew, and then her daughter, which would be Agnes Nixon's granddaughter, was Wendy Nixon, and we see her right there. We've also seen her pictured with Obama, which leads me to think that this is probably part of another network. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Okay, so I don't want to go way into that story right now because it could be more complicated and I might be gloriously wrong. But we knew that this Nixon family was tied up with not only the Hollywood elite, but we also knew that this girl kept popping up in Obama's pictures. And every time we would see this As the World Turns, I kept thinking about that connection. James Alefantis with Comet Ping Pong. And this, of course, also ties in with Nexium too. But I don't want to go too crazy with that. Let me take you back to 3550. And this was this stringer right here, hot 8, hot 9. So I'm not sure if these are connections to some particular satellites or if we're confirming a new network. Not really sure. You can let me know. But the other curious thing that I found about this post was this 1 through 99. Let's have a look at 1 through 99. These are some of the most recent times that we've seen 1 through 99. We see it the last time here in post 3423. This was the 12th of July. Talking about Wheels Up. And Wheels Up was that private flight, kind of like Uber that we're starting to see. Might have been very much like an Epstein's Lolita kind of express too. Talking about Wheels Up flight logs, and then here we see it classified 1 through 99 under investigation by FBI and DOJ. So maybe we are talking about the kiddies. Now this is post 3411. It's a long one here on July 11th. I just want to take you to the middle here. The mindset of most. If the majority of people believe this, then this must be more true than that. CIA classified through 1 through 99. 56, human psychological and emotional distress. Without public support, they are powerless. We, the people, hold the power. Okay, so we do seem to be talking about kiddies, right? And let me take you to one more here. 3396. This is from the 10th of July. And again, we're talking about Bill Clinton and Ray Chandler, Epstein plane pick. And Ray Chandler was another similar, kind of character. This young, pretty girl that we didn't know where she was turning up. But she kept turning up in all these pictures with all these different stars. And she ends up being this sort of go-to person for this whole pedo network, right? And once again, we see that classified 1 through 99. What age is Ray Chandler in the picture? Under the age of 18, well, Q says it's 15. So I have to say that in regards to this latest stringer, it sounds like some sort of communications or something that may have to do with some of these flights. So there you go. That's all I've got connected so far. I'm not so sure how much of that is really on point, but keep in mind, POTUS was also on the move due to the rally. So it wouldn't surprise me if people are always trying to get to him during those times. Let's go ahead and move forward to these latest posts. 3569, 19 minutes after the hour of 12. We get this Fox News like right here, and Q says bigger slam dunk charges coming. Public understanding of events just around the corner. And it takes you to Fox News. DOJ will not prosecute Comey for leaking memos after IG referral. The Justice Department has decided against prosecuting former FBI Director James Nobody's Homie Comey for leaking classified information following a referral from the department's Inspector General. Sources familiar with the deliberations told Fox News. Everyone at the DOJ involved in the decision said it wasn't a close call, one official said. They all thought this could not be prosecuted. Comey penned memos memorializing his interactions with President Trump in the days leading up to his firing. He then passed those documents to a friend, Columbia University law professor, where they're all so legit over there at Columbia, Daniel Richman, who gave them to the New York Times, which is also super legit. Comey admitted to that arrangement during congressional testimony. After the fact, the FBI classified two of those memos as confidential. DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz had referred Comey for potential prosecution as part of an internal review. But one of the key factors leading to the DOJ declining to prosecute apparently was the fact that the two memos were labeled confidential after he set in motion the chain of events that led to them ending up with the press. Okay, so I just want to note something real quick here, because I know there's a lot of people that are really upset about this, and I just want to point out, you're fine if you can feel whatever you want, but this makes a whole lot of sense here. Now just hear this again. First of all, these memos here, which we knew were coming, were marked as confidential, not classified. They were marked as confidential. So if you want to go ahead and try and prosecute Comey, they're saying that they don't think it can be prosecuted. And even if it were, it would be a super, super light sentence, because like I said, these weren't marked classified. They were marked confidential. And showing that the FBI classified it after the fact just shows that this isn't really what they're really going after Comey for. This doesn't mean that Comey's off the hook. And I think that that's very important, because I think there's a lot of people that like to get upset whenever they hear news like this, and they're not really seeing this for the long view. Now, again, feel whatever you want. If you feel like nothing's going on, this is just a bunch of moving the goalposts, you're welcome to think that. But common sense should prevail in the fact that you don't want to be trying to go after James Comey for some confidential memos. Why would you want to do that? Well, you get your answer right down here. The report related to Comey's leaks is separate from Horowitz's review of alleged Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act abuses. And that's the bacony, treasony goodness. That report's release is delayed, according to sources, due to the potential components of Attorney General Barr and U.S. Attorney John Durham's investigation into alleged improper government surveillance. And that's really the big deal here. And keep in mind that, now that we have a new director of the DNI, that's not even going to happen until the 15th. And so that's when things will probably really, really pick up. Now, I know, again, it does feel like moving the goalposts. I'm not making excuses for this. I'd like to see it all done yesterday, too. But that seems to be what is being suggested here. Once DNI Coates gets out of the way, then we'll go ahead and be able to move forward with this. But this has never really changed. The investigation is still into FISA abuse, and that's really where the big abuses are. We're not worried about some confidential memo. Now, if it was a classified memo, that might be a different thing, but keep in mind these memos are confidential. So I would say don't believe the hype. You're welcome to think whatever you want. Q seems to agree with me. Bigger slam dunk charges coming. Yeah, we know this. Public understanding of events just around the corner. Yeah, I think what this really is to just show some optics and start warming people up. Look, the Mueller thing is just falling apart. We've got a new DNI director, and we've got a bunch of terrible Democratic candidates being trotted out to run for president. The Democrats are looking for information at this point, and there are more people that are turning on to Q. I know this because I'm starting to see numbers rise again, finally. I think that we're all starting to see that again. There's a renewed interest, and there's a reason for that. People are starting to realize that what James, nobody's homie, Comey was saying just wasn't true. And you need a public understanding of that. If they just went ahead and arrested him, you can imagine the kind of blowback that President Trump would receive, and it wouldn't be good for optics. So as slow as this is, keep in mind that we're playing for 2020. This is not just a 4-year election. And if you're not ready to play that long game, you might not be ready to play this game at all, because that's how this goes. Now, I'm not saying just be patient and be blind and be naive, but this makes sense to me. And if you can reason against it, you're welcome to do that down below. Let's move on to 3570. 22 minutes after the hour 12. C before D. Coates before D class. And I'm not so sure that we're not talking about Comey yet there either. But of course, that seems to make sense. Like I was just saying, Coates isn't even going to step out till the 15th. The month of August is traditionally very hot. You have more than you know. So there is your reference again to hot August and hot being capitalized. Not sure if that has to do with our stringers. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But I'm really starting to wondering if we're going to find out some information in regards to this flight log with wheels up or whatnot during the month of August. But there you go. In other news from Yahoo, exclusive FBI document warns conspiracy theories are a new domestic terrorism threat. The FBI for the first time has identified fringe conspiracy theories as a domestic terrorist threat, according to a previously unpublicized document obtained by Yahoo News. The FBI intelligence bulletin from the Bureau's Phoenix Field office, dated May 30th, 2019, describes conspiracy theory-driven domestic extremists as a growing threat, and note that it is the first such report to do so. It lists a number of arrests, including some that haven't been publicized, related to violent incidents motivated by fringe beliefs. And here we go. The document specifically mentions QAnon, a shadowy network that believes in a deep state conspiracy against President Trump, and Pizzagate, the theory that a pedophile ring, including Clinton associates, was being run out of the basement of a Washington, D.C. pizza restaurant, which didn't actually have a basement. Stop! I'm about to clear this all up for you in just a second. Number one, although I do believe that Pizzagate is real, and I think many of you do too, QAnon doesn't talk about it. We rarely talk about Pizzagate, so you gotta stop with that crap. Now, as far as this pizza restaurant, which didn't actually have a basement, flashback.
Got a flashback aside, you take your back, yeah.
Taking you back to Washington Post from 2013. Let me take you down about halfway through. Like Pastan, James Alefantis, owner of Comet Ping Pong, doesn't build his pizza sauce with DOP San Marzanos. For 7 years, he has been buying late harvest tomatoes from Toigo orchards in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, and canning them at a nearby Stello Foods for use at Comet. Last year, Alefantis estimates he bought 12 tons of Toigo tomatoes, which Stello turned into sauce and canned before trucking the jars to the basement at Buck's Fishing and Camping, Alefantis' other restaurant just a few steps down from the block on Connecticut Avenue, Northwest. Lies! So back to the article. The FBI assesses these conspiracy theories very likely will emerge, spread, and evolve in the modern information marketplace, occasionally driving both groups and individual extremists to carry out criminal or violent acts, the document states. It also goes on to say the FBI believes conspiracy theory-driven extremists are likely to increase during the 2020 presidential election cycle. Okay, so it looks like Christopher Wray is really working hard at his job, making sure that he calls QAnon a bunch of terrorists. That's funny. I don't feel like a terrorist. All right, kids, that's all I got for you for today. I wanted to point out real quick, too, that many of you thought that in regards to that stringer, in regards to red right there, that could be referring to the Red Cross. Could very well be. Q had just recently posted, not once but twice, the video in regards to the boxes and boxes of cash that they were all taking in. So could we be finding something out in relation to maybe an audit with them or some videos in regards to them? Not really sure, but I figured I would point that out. All right, as always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who do that already. If you're new to my channel, welcome to you. Please understand that you're going to get unclicked and unliked and unsubscribed from time to time. Just do me a favor and recheck yourself, because Susan Wojcicki doesn't want us to be together, but we'll do it anyway because we're rebels. All my alternate links are down below. My Gab, my Real.video, my BitChute, my DropSpace, and of course I'm over at Twitter at IPOT1776. That's IPOT1776. All those links are down below. If you've got information for me, please email me. Do not DM me on Twitter. Please email me. My email is down below. That is INPOT76@gmail. And my P.O. box is down there as well. And if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon is linked down there below. It's all linked down in the video description. All right, Patriots, this is Sir Patrick Mack. And until next time, stay upright.